Okay, welcome back. This is Gary Borgio, NewCreationCivilization.com. This is a second video in the series talking about the origin and foundation of the purpose of God in the earth and its importance in this current age for God's people. We'll go on to include the heaven and earth in this section. As Genesis 1:1 says, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. The first video we looked at God only and everything coming forth from God. This time we're going to talk about the importance of all that heavens and earth represented that initially in creation. And really what's important to take into account is the entirety of the creation was summed up in that first verse. So as a whole, creation is reflected in the heavens and earth, visible and invisible, as is God's purpose for it. More in a moment. Okay, we're back now. What we're going to do now next is look at the key points of what we talked about. Heaven and earth reflected God. They're made in harmony with His will and kingdom and His purpose. And that's clearly reflected in what we call the Lord's Prayer, where it partly states, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." Okay, and Ephesians 1:10 offers and reveals more of the fullness of what that means. When it says, all things in heaven and earth are to be gathered together or summed up in Christ. In the thought of God and His purpose, heaven and earth are to be in full harmony with Christ. And sin and terrors will keep the earth from being in total harmony with the Lord, meaning it'll never be fully perfect what He wanted, but their influence will wane, fade over time as God's people grow in numbers and conformity in obedience to His image during the age. Or as Psalm 72:8-11 says, His dominion will encompass the earth. It states He will rule from sea to sea and all the nations will serve Him. There's a lot more verses that say the same thing, but that sums it up good. Not every individual will come to the Lord or serve Him, but the nations overall will. Creation of heaven and earth was by and for Christ, and through His people He will fill the earth with Himself by their embracing of the character of God, obedience to His commands, and taking dominion over the earth. God doesn't do this with His general presence. He could have done that without creation, just filled everything was Himself. But creation was for the purpose of having a people that would embrace who He was and reflect who He was into the earth. He takes care of the heavens. Our job is to reflect Him in this earth.